Hello, my name is Holly Cowan. I'm 32 years old and I'm from London in the UK. Thank you so much for considering my application. I'm super excited to share with you my concept for my talk around uncoupled living. I currently work for a global branding agency as a tech and innovation director. And the thing that excites me most about that is not necessarily kind of new tech that emerges, but actually really understanding the changes and trends in society and then working with brands to understand how they need to respond to changing needs. So the three key areas of my talk, and also I'm not set on these, so I'm really open to any thoughts or feedback that you might have, but the structure that I've been thinking about is to kind of open with a number of statistics. So what are the facts and figures? What's the information we can use to really understand what's happening here? And to look at this globally as well, I think would be really interesting. Secondly, just to kind of build on the research part, I think it would be great to look at other subcultures around the world and to see how this kind of overall concept applies differently in various parts of the world would be really, really interesting. And then thirdly, just to have a look at how some businesses are already responding. So what does UX look like for the single person, and where is there potentially already discrimination on this front, and what can we start doing about it? One article I was reading recently was about the workplace and kind of reviewing the different benefits that there are for people who choose to get married and have families versus people who choose to remain single. So a lot of organisations will have extended annual leave opportunities for people going on a honeymoon, and are potentially more likely to consider flexible working to those who have got children. So there's lots of debate around this, and there's no kind of clear position on what's right and wrong. So I think it's a really exciting time to kind of understand it and get our heads around it and work out how we can support brands and businesses to respond to this trend as it emerges. There are already lots of people recognising this. So Tesco's this year in the UK have 40% more single serve products. So at the moment there's singleism is the name for the term around discrimination against single or unmarried people, or those who aren't in a relationship essentially. And this covers things like, the fact that you can still get better value if you buy in bulk. It doesn't really support the single person. So, it's more expensive to buy a small pint of milk than it is a large one. For example, this is the kind of thing that they're talking about. When you buy a cutlery set, when you move into a new property, you have to buy 4 of everything. And these are some of the things that people are looking at and questioning and seeing. Is there a different way for us to approach this? McDonald's have recently launched a campaign aimed at single fathers, which I think is quite a forward-thinking approach as well. And it's very thought-provoking, and I think that's what I would really love to achieve as the outcome of this talk, is not necessarily to set a position on it, but just put it on the radar of people and get people thinking about it. There's also a hotel in Portugal called Casa Rosa that's recently opened, and this is a hotel aimed at single people. I think we know that there are some great stats around the increase of single travel, but a singles hotel that also has lots of social space. The evenings have really long kind of banquet tables so that people can sit together. I think it's a bit of a dated concept that there's in the past been sympathy towards single people, and singleness has kind of been associated with loneliness, which absolutely isn't the case anymore. Single people are in some of the reports, significantly more sociable, and they have 25% more disposable income, and that's what makes it a really interesting conversation for brand. Not only do these people have more to spend with the brand, but also they're much more likely to put themselves forward to shout on social media. They're looking for these connections, and I believe there's a lot of opportunity there. There's other topics around emotion ships. So emotion ships are the concept that actually single people in all their forms will actually have a lot of different social connections. So the days of just having, you know, your life partner, the person you're married to, and your family as your sole support network is actually becoming more and more dated. I think, as we all know, social media makes it so easy for us to connect with people that this concept of emotion ships explains that we have lots of different people for different things. So we might have our friends that we go to exercise class with, we might have our friends that we go out partying with, we might call our mum to talk about how ill we're feeling, and we might have various mentors to help us in our professional work. So, you know, it's becoming, our social networks are becoming much more fluid and diverse, and we can kind of scale up different parts of that as we need it. So yeah, that's kind of another thing that I would like to explore. So yeah, lots of kind of buzzwords to unpick in this field, but lots of really interesting statistics, and my kind of mission would be to get people excited about thinking about this as a new opportunity and a new avenue to explore. How can we meet the needs of this exciting new market? So as mentioned, I'm totally flexible on the structure, but that's a really brief overview of some of the reading and research I've been doing and some of the thoughts that I would love to share. So if it's of interest, I would absolutely love to hear from you, or if you've got any questions, then please don't hesitate to get in touch. And thank you again for taking the time to consider my application. Really appreciate it. Thank you. Bye.